Welcome back to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, the most, Lesego M, 31 report, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me then like Cairo. Listen, if you are a fan of chords, stay tuned, because today you might like what we are cooking. The song of the day you ask, the song of the day is Gundam Style by who's that guy Danny Wall, Mess Music featuring Dubs this morning, Maporisa. The song was released as a single on the 26th of April 2023. We have a lot to talk about today on today's show, right? So I know yesterday I didn't release the second episode of the day. I do apologize for that. I know a lot of people kept on asking us why we not. I'm joking. Nobody asked. Not that important. But yeah, guys, there's a lot to talk about today, man. I woke up today as I was doing the prep for today's show, specific show. I realized, a lot has been going on all around the world, despite the fact that whatever that's happening in Gaza, Israel and Palestine and South Africa, getting involved in all of this, people are still moving, and it saddens me to see, with Ukraine, we seemed more united as the world. There were flags, there were t-shirts, there were people marking their faces to show support for Ukraine, and I don't know if it's because Russia was the enemy at then, so the same thing is happening with Palestine and, Israel, and nobody seems to care. We have the Emmys going on, and people, the critics award are going on. We have which awards did we also have? Okay, I think we also had a couple of awards. I think we did have a show, the G2, whilst all of this is happening in the world, people are just moving, and as much as there's people who are thanking and, showing appreciation for South Africa's involvement in whatever that's happening in Palestine. And shout out to Naledi Pandor as well, because he's way in on the matter and he spoke about international hypocrisy in her own words. I don't remember the exact statement, but I remember some of those words that she used was international hypocrisy when we stand with Ukraine, but we are not supported when we stand against the similar things with Palestine. Where's the truth in that? It goes to show how international hypocrisy is, so shout out to Melody on standing up for that, for a lot of you who know. And for the longest time, I think I've always had Naledi Pandor as one of those singers that I really appreciate enough. Alongside, Viola Davis, alongside Deborah Washington, alongside Olivia Spencer. And I've been in question, with ANC and everything that's going on. I'm like, maybe she's not the person I thought she was, I started to doubt that in a lot of things. And I was like, maybe it's not fair for me to be sitting here and judging the decisions that you've made or who she is, or but I had her speak again. I was like, this is the woman that I fell in love with. The woman that I really to see more of from the media. The thought of knowing that she stood up and said, I think there's more of her, saying, this is what I feel and I believe in. And for me, it feels like listening to the Pandor that I've always known, So when I saw that, I was like, this is beautiful. And I like the fact that, Naledi Pandor being a part of the movement that I really love and appreciate. If you see her come back and do that, I don't know if it's because of the elections but that's how you do it, bro. That's how you do it. That's how you represent us, man. And shout out to her for that. And if she was, doing that to get ADC numbers, man, that's low. But I really want to take it for what it is. Saying he was doing it for the grace of God. So appreciate you, Naledi Pandor. If this gets him right, I don't know if they even listen to it. But we do have politicians. We had a guest who was like a chairperson of a political party called them all. It's an upcoming political party who, by the majority of the listeners who listen to the podcast, you guys must know by now, Uti Mporadada is the face of Arise. We had the chairperson of Your Hubby's Mate, who is the lady we had. I won't mention the name of the lady. So she's a lady, she was with us, we had a glass, we had a nice conversation, We also had Muteo join us for that conversation, and shout out to Muteo. She was a part of like the Africa, with South Africa. Yeah, it was South Africa and Miss World South Africa. Yeah, that's how it's said. For the longest time, I didn't know how to pronounce Miss World South Africa. So shout out to her, shout out to Mpondwambi, shout out to a lot of the ladies that came through to the podcast, and Mpondwambi being the first. Shout out to Avashni Widi, one of like my favorite women of all time as well. Avashni Widi, Muteo as well. I love Muteo. I also like Shimieto as well. I also appreciate this one name that I know from those women. I was like, oh, but Avashni is the one. Avashni Widi, Muteo Mukoto, those are like my top 10 people. Yeah, I love you wherever you are, guys, and I really appreciate you. So yeah, on other things, I'd like to talk about what happened in the end. South Africa has been winning, like really doing big on like globally, like from the music scene. You have Unavailable, which is like Afrobeat, piano collaboration, Davido, Monster Keys, like they're going crazy. And you have people like Trevor who's also killing it. We also have like people like Tyler who are killing it, like the Billboard. It's such a mess. We have people like Tusombed who, bro, like they have been killing it. We have people like Nomzamo Bata, like we have been putting in the work, and like I feel like to be South African now, it's always been nice to be South African and be like appreciating one another as South Africans. But when you see one of your own, push for the stars or like push for the universe or whatever you make, when you see that, bro, it's amazing. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be a part of. Like, not to like be attached to. I know that maybe some peers might say to be like NCG or like what. I know it's like the Uncle Waffles is not being celebrated as people like Tyler at the end of the case, because of the comment she made to say, I'm not South African or South African, which is not wrong. She stood her ground and said, but South Africans are the ones that found. But she's still big either way after Waffles, but they are winning regardless. We love her as an African or surrounding a part of ourselves. Labor is part of like Tenguli, whatever the language Swati is a part of like the Tenguli language. So you're still family, So shout out to Uncle Waffles, by the way, guys. So the song of the day in Gangnam Style by Musa Keys featuring Babs at the Small, featuring Maporisa, featuring Danny Wonga, who has had an incredible year, because I think I saw a clip of Danny Wonga and they asked him some of the incentive plan, and there was another clip where they asked Musa Keys what the song of the year. He said, I'm not beautiful, and the question was, are you saying that because that's your song? And he was like, well, obviously. And I think Danny Wonga is realistic. I don't know if that was like a fun comment with or it's like, that song is so great, it deserves to be song of the year, you understand? But looking at Danny Wonga was like, the reality is I'm a good singer, but this year I didn't sing song of the year. As much as I released dope or fire music or being a part of like so many features this year, but I know which I didn't take it. That doesn't change. And even Musa, like Unavailable is a nice song, but I don't think it took a seat with Iplani. It's on the same level as Iplani. I don't think it is. Like Iplani is on another level, bro. I really love that song, Iplani, by I don't know, 2000 has an incredible year. Like the music that they pull out, shout out to people like, Metabongs, people like Ostambo, people like Brandon Praise. Oh, when Brandon Praise was facing, like Brandon Praise, like he's so underrated, bro. Like so underrated. And I love Brandon Praise as well, bro, but underrated. And that's the part I think again, Boosie, like I don't care with what people say. At the thing is like, bro, it never you feel like when someone, I'm not in a relationship or anything, entanglement, whatever you may. I'm not in any of those. But when your partner says it was that they think you are mine from whatever you drink to what you eat. There's a song, I think, I don't remember the name of the song that says, woman to woman. If you listen to the intro, woman to woman. That's how I feel about Brandon Praise's music. Like, that's how it's treasure, bro. Like, Brandon Praise's music is treasure, bro. Like, that's how much I love him. And I love the fact, and maybe it might not be good from, the bank side of things, but like, to have a raw talent, to be comfortable to make music that you love, and you have faith enough or in your audience to see. Like, I wish there is someone who's crazy enough to like the same things that I do. I think this is someone which fits perfectly in this in this scenario. So that, bro, like Brandon Praise is there to me. So this brings me to an Emmy award-winning. Trevor won an Emmy, guys. This is big one now. This is big. I'm not talking about when the World Cup. It is big, massive. South Africa has had a great year. Is it an omen that we might also, or is it deja vu? No, it can't be deja vu. No, it's deja vu. Yes. Deja vu, a sign of what's going to happen, is an omen, I think. Yeah, something you've seen before, something you've seen before. I think it's deja vu, and omen is a sign of what might happen, or what is going to happen. Is an omen. So I'm just like thinking to see, but for those of you who are fact checkers, please fact check that for me, please. So he did take an Emmy award. That is Trevor Noah. He wins the Emmy for an outstanding talk show series. And even this day, guys, I don't know what you feel about this, but like even this day, I still feel good to Trevor Noah shouldn't have left the Daily Show. I don't know, he might have had the reasons to talk, but I know PR when I see one, but I don't know if that is PR or like genuinely he wanted to leave and explore other things. I know now he has a podcast called What Now, which is ironic because he left there and now we are here. Like, what now? And now you're here, like, what now? So shout out to him, man, and all the best with the podcasting world, man. I know, Gucci, the podcasting world is not easy, but he has the audience. He has the numbers behind him. He has the fans, been filling up arenas. He's Trevor Noah at the end of the day, and he just said it. Another Emmy, the first Emmy under his belt. Shout out to Trevor. And I wanted to speak about Boosie and the girlfriend, but I'll just say this in passing with Boosie. After he had a court date appearance, and after that, Boosie did review Boosie. An upcoming wedding is on the way with her and Issa, the fiance. It's on the way. And I'm like, wait. Man, I saw a video of Boosie not so long ago, and some lady was twerking for Boosie, and she was touching the floor and twerking for Boosie. And I'm like, so, like, now I'm just intrigued by the fact that your wife lets you be comfortable with other women to do that. Like, the respect, like, if you are, like, she clearly was engaged to Issa, his fiance. I'm like show them respect, by not doing certain things in public. So the fact that Boosie did that in public, and shout out to Boosie, by the way, Boosie badass. And I'm like, well, that's not how you represent someone, a healthy relationship with the ones that you love, And that's just me. I felt some type of way when I saw this. I was like, okay. But to each their own, guys. If this works for you in a relationship, bro, like, do you, man. Do you. So, on other news, I wanted to talk about the stats, the Guinness World Record. I think we'll touch on it when we come back after the break. I'm your host with the most, Lesego M, Third Report, aka Shoot Your Shot. And maybe you might just get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Let's meet after the break. Cheers. Welcome back to Backroomconvos. I'm your host with the most, Lesego M, aka Shoot Your Shot. And maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Listen, if you are a fan of Pod, stay tuned, because you might like what we're cooking. The song of the day is Gundam Style, featuring Umaporisa, Gabza the Small, Musa Keys, and Danny Wong, and the man of the hour. Shout out to Danny Wong, by the way, for the music that he's put out over the years. Gundam Style is one of those songs that I also enjoy when you're working out in the gym, wherever you work out from. Because now I wake up from home. I don't work out in the gym, so I do like to listen to those type of songs when I do work out. They help me with my gym flow. Like I listen to a lot of my piano when I work out. So yeah. You might be surprised. I know a lot of people are listening to me speak about working out, but they're like, you don't have the body, the muscle. Hey guys, don't yatta me, guys. I do have. If you've seen my legs, you could actually tell. I've played soccer before, and I'm trying to feed that. I'm not trying to be buff or anything. I'm just trying to be, trim. There's something called trimming. Trimming myself. I don't want to be too much, but that I don't like then it's too big. I don't like that type of a body. So I just like my body the way it is, and I'm like, and I love it, and I love my body. I just want to trim, just have a body soccer player. You know what I mean? So that's my go-to routine. Like my body has to be this. It doesn't have to exceed this level, or if it does exceed, maybe for my grow 2 times where it is, where the chest is. You know what I mean? So yeah, but let's go back right into it. Before we went on a break, we were talking about Boosie Badass, and not, in my opinion, obviously, not representing the notion of a God relationship. I've seen him, and the reason I got to that conclusion, I seen a woman talking for Boosie Badass in one of the podcasts, or not the podcast, those YouTube shows where girls are there picking their guys, or like playing the blindfold games, and it's one of those games. And Boosie Badass, I don't know what he was doing there, so old for those things, but yeah. It's just me. That's just me. Boosie can do what Boosie wants to do. But as I was saying, even the relationship, Boosie can do what Boosie wants to do, But in my opinion, this is my opinion, guys. Boosie, like, how are you letting another woman twerk for you whilst you're engaged? You're engaged, and there you are tipping another woman. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then I didn't know. Like, I'm not a big Boosie fan, but I understand Boosie now that I see everything that I see, and I'm like, wait, I saw Boosie doing that, and now I hear Boosie, he was engaged, and he's about to get married after the court appearance, and I'm like, this is okay, but I'm not the one to judge, you know what I mean? I'm not the one to judge, and I want to touch on a lot of things, and one of those things that I wanted to touch on is that, you remember yesterday's episode, I did touch on that. And is it the Paak dude? It's Andy Paak. Is it Andy Paak or something? I forgot the name. And Paak. The surname is Paak, man. I forgot. I covered the story yesterday, guys. Guys, how can I forget the name? I forgot the name of it. The name of but I'll just look at I'm looking at the what you call this, the headlines. It's Andrea Paak. Is it Anderson Paak? It's the name I'm looking for, guys. Anderson Paak is the guy that I'm looking for. Remember yesterday or the day before, I was talking about how Anderson Paak is getting a divorce or filed for divorce from his 13-year relationship or wedding or marriage. Yeah, marriage is the right word. So he's walking away from his 13 years old marriage with the wife, who's like Asian and very nice, and they're getting a divorce. And today, how I'm doing prep, right? I'm doing prep, and in my prep, I'm like, this guy, what's going on? Something is being said about Anderson Paak, and I'm like, okay, Anderson Paak, let's see how. It's not even a man. This guy has filed for divorce, and we see him with another chick, and I'm like, a black chick, by the way. And of which some of you were like, yeah, bro, you've been hitting those. Come back home and eat some yams. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a comment that was made. I didn't say that because it sounded disrespectful and insensitive in the situation. I don't know if it still is. It would have been on the comments. I don't think it is, because obviously now he's hitting some yams with a black woman, and I'm like, there is no way, you guys, hear me out, there's no way. And firstly, this is not my original comment, because I was like, okay, I saw this and I didn't have thoughts in mind. I was like, oh, okay, he filed for divorce and that's it, he filed for divorce, that's it. I didn't have a comment until I went to the comment section, and I'm like sitting there, comment section, right? So one dude says, there's no way that this relationship is still new. These guys, they've been dating for months, these ones, if not years. So technically, Anderson Paak has been cheating on the wife, because the divorce is now. And now we see pictures now, and it's not long when we had Anderson Paak is filing for divorce. And now I can't help but wonder, Uguti, this is the situation now. This is the situation at hand. And the reality is, okay, Anderson Paak is divorced. Did the wife know about this current girl? Did they know? Were they not happy? Why is he the one filing and not the girl? And if she knew, what was I'm more like that, and I'm like, oof. That conversation must have been hard for, mostly the wife, because I'm like, yo, I've been with you for 13 years, and here you come saying, Uti, you want a breakup, or you want out, a divorce, you want out from the marriage. That must have been hard for the wife, because for the dude who's already moved on with another woman, then for him was like, yeah, it's hard, I understand we got kids, but this is how we're going to work custody out. So you'll have the kids during the week, I'll have the kids on the weekend, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. And I still think, but maybe he knows, but bro, you're the greatest mother that these kids have, and you can be with them, and we'll just have a first splits. You'll be with, because now you also have to understand, but maybe they were seeing other people outside their marriage in this impact. Maybe they were in an open relationship where you have the mother seeing other person, and Andrea was also seeing another person, which is the wife that we know, but we don't know about the other relationship from the woman, because now remember, she's not famous. Anderson Paak is famous, so anything that she does will always be in the spotlight. You know what I mean? And she might have done these, and you might not know because she's not there. I might have passed it in the market to, and I would have known this is Anderson Paak's ex-wife, Anderson Paak's ex-wife, you know what I mean? So that's another thing to talk about. And I'm like, yo, there's a lot that's going on with marriage, relationships. And to speak on that, I'm a big fan of Cole, and this is why, one of the reasons why he was in the podcast with Little Yadi, and they were talking about marriage. He's like, I've been married for so long and I have kids for sure. It's like, you always think, Muti, when you're in your marriage, it's always gonna be this high. I love this person. Boom, boom, boom. He's like, no, after a while, that goes, bro. It goes. You don't find the fire. You don't see this. You don't see that. And he's like, bro, that doesn't mean, Oguti, you should walk out of the marriage and say, this didn't work. Oh, well, doesn't work. I must go out and find fun or sleep over, or that might just lead to a whole nother level of, that's on its own. It's a level of disrespect on another capacity. You know, it's disrespectful, and and if it's an open relationship, kudos to that. But like, let's bring in some fire by having other people in our relationship, or seeing other people outside of the relationship. But at the end of the day, me and you are married, we are good. You know, so that, you know, and also you can say, guy, yeah, let's sit down. This doesn't work. And me as a guy, I'm willing to, like, you know, start introducing new levels of things, or starting to do some of these things to reignite the fire that's within the marriage that we have. You know, it's no longer the same because I'm not putting effort. So now you don't feel the need to put in the effort to actually make it work. Or, you know, it's like you need to put in effort and find new words to get that higher gate. Your biggest challenge when you get to that point is to find your way back to that high. Always. It's always there. And I'm like, this insight that you don't get every day. You know, it's insight that you don't get every day. And not a lot of people have that insight, because not a lot of people have, like, you know, have like healthy relationships with their wives. Some of, like, the kids, like myself, I grew up with my grandparents. My father was still around, and, you know, like, you know, I grew up with my grandparents for most of my life, you know, and I was raised by the neighbors, and, you know, the conversation here. Not a lot of people get to see their parents work things out. So sometimes it's not that people don't want to try, but they don't know there's also this way that we can go about. They don't have the relationship, the healthy relationship, you know, they don't have that with, like, the background. It's not there. The background of a healthy relationship was seeing from home, this is how it looks like. My mom and my dad used to be together, A, B, and C. They used to fight, A, B, and they used to work things out. That's a kid that comes from a proper family where things are sorted out, and all the kids are seeing the smiles, they see the fun. Even when there's anger, it gets fixed. That's a household you grew up in. You know, as a kid, you grew up in that household. But it's a different dynamic when you grew up in the home where you are raised by a single parent, or raised by, you know, your grandparents. You don't get to see that. This is love. My mom, my father, my this, my dad. This is what my father does to show appreciation for my mom. You know, like, you don't have that. And even if now we were to say, okay, well, there's therapy for sure, but therapy help for sure. For those of you who want to go for therapy, best choice, best thing you can ever do for yourself is go for therapy. I recommend that. So for the people who grew up in healthy relationship, they're halfway there. They know, like, a part of the answer, but the answers are here. You know, now they have the direction, but I just need to get there, you know, and to string someone who's my partner. And it's like, guy, we need to, like, do this and that. You know what I mean? You have the formula already, but for someone who doesn't grow up with both parents, they don't have the formula to navigate through that. You know, they never had, like, the man-to-man sit down with their fathers. They never had that. So it's harder for them to, like, express, to talk about that, or, like, to know how to maneuver around these sticky situations. I'm not saying it's the same with Henry 30,000. I'm just saying, what Cole brought to the table with that, it showed a different aspect or level of maturity that a lot of people are not looking into in their marriages, you know. And I was like, oh, this is, like, inside information that I never knew I wanted or I needed till that, you know. I was like, oh, this is crazy that it hits hard, like, I'm married, but I'm not, but I still resonate with that. But, you know, this is just me. Do let me know what you think on the comment section about what I've been talking about. And talking about, and I wanted us to talk about a bit about the Emmys as well, and some of the people that were in the Emmys. I saw a dude, she's like, when has it been? Like this, I've been thinking about this slide way before the show, and I was like, this is how it went in my mind. The line that I was thinking. I saw a dude kissing a dude in the Emmys, right, for the Bear. I think it's a series. Series is the name of the thingy that they won. So the Bear, yeah, comedy series. So the comedy series, The Bear, the guy who took the award, he got a French kiss. Is it a French kiss? But he got a kiss from another dude. And I'm like, when has this been, cool to kiss another dude? And I'm like, oh, it's already been there, But the question now has to be, when has it been cool for a straight man to kiss another straight man? French kiss, noch an. When has that been a thing? You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna do that. Mina, like, ngabo khama, yo, nanka khama mood. You know what I mean? Nanka khama mood. So I tell what I'll be doing weekends. But when I read the comment section, they gave me a different perspective. It's the brotherly love. It's family. We are family. We are that. And I'm like, yeah, you can be family, but there must be boundaries, guys. Like, he didn't mind the kiss, or like, what? A lot of the cast, they were surprised, but I'm like, oh, okay, your family. In the comment section, they were justifying, and I'm like, okay, like, whatever, guys. But me, I wouldn't let that slide. Guys. I know I was supposed to cover a lot of content on this episode, but I didn't cover a lot in this. But I'm planning on releasing another episode around 7 p.m. tonight. So stay tuned for that. I love you a lot. And I was supposed to speak about Adele, Taylor Swift, Shakira, Beyonce, and Madonna. I was supposed to speak about that as well, but I couldn't. There was no time, But I do love you, and I do appreciate you listening to the podcast each and every day. And today, I know, I do apologize. There is no book for the day, but there is a quote of the day. And it's a quote that I took from Scotty P. It says, you gotta hang around winners so your wins don't sound like you are bragging. I'll repeat that. Quote of the day by Scotty Pimpin. You have to hang around winners so your wins don't sound like you're bragging. That's Scotty Pimpin. I feel like that's powerful. I'm your host with the most, Lesego M, Daddy Ready for it, aka Shoot Your Shot. And maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Kyle. Let's meet today evening with another epic episode of Backroomconvo with Lesego M. Let's meet there. Cheers.